Greetings and welcome to the studio of Wild Treasures of an Outdoorsman. My name is Peter Updike, and I got a little important, I think it's real important message for you tonight. It's late on a Saturday night, and I'm fumbling around in here. I've got some issues I had to address, and a situation that arose that I needed to address and fix. And I think I've got the situation well in hand, but I want to share it with you so I could maybe pass on my experience to someone that might not know any better. I love watching outdoor TV. If it's not too dramatic, number one, and if it's realistic, number two. And that kind of narrows down the field, right? Because much of what we see on outdoor TV is just one long promotion of products. And every year they want to push new products on us and encourage us to purchase these products and forget about what we already have. And really and truthfully, there's nothing wrong with what we already have. They just want to keep that machine. They want to feed the machine. And we are the ones that are pouring the feed to it every time we make a purchase. So I want to address something that's very important to me and something I practice when I go in the field. Now, tonight's video is about optics, okay? I got two parts to this video, and this is going to help you. So if it doesn't help you today, it'll help you one day down the line, I promise you. Now, I like having binoculars, and I like having spotting scopes. I carry binoculars in my truck. I've got a spotting scope that I got on a tripod, and I used to go out to the forest and watch coyotes. I used to go up there, and I had a family of coyotes in the grassy prairie area that I could see from a distance, and I spent a lot of time during that summer just driving up there, setting my spotting scope up, and watching those coyotes. And one thing that we see a lot on TV, especially among popular hunting celebrities, is they promote the use of optics, so much so that they're willing to carry these huge spotting scopes and their tripods and their binoculars over mountains and over valleys and through the woods to set the thing up, right? Let me paint the picture for you. They climb up to what they call a glassing knoll or a glassing top, and they set everything up with their little tripod, and they sit there for hours surveying the landscape. And I've got nothing against that, but it's not very practical. I never do it really. Every now and then, open chop maybe, or a grassy prairie like I had mentioned earlier, or maybe, down where I can see down a power line maybe, or a gas line. I can see a long way to sit there and look through my binoculars. But the truth of the matter is, and let me show you my binoculars. I got two sets here. These are Vortex Crossfire. This is the best I can afford. This is the most I'm going to spend. This pair of binoculars here, they're kind of heavy, right? And they got this chest strap, because you see the guys on TV, they got them on their chest, and they even have a little satchel or holster or something they put on their chest, and they carry them things around every which way. Already it doesn't seem too practical in my view, but they got them nonetheless. And again, they got them strapped to the chest, but I like my Vortex binoculars. These go to the woods with me, and I have them in the truck, okay? And then I've got this pair that I keep here. These are Nikons. And these are an inexpensive pair. I think they were $89. But they're a very good set of binoculars, very clear. And I like these binoculars. I keep these at home. And I've got the chest thingy too. So, with that said, the big danger is that you and I would feed off of some of the information that comes over those hunting shows, and we would lug our binoculars to the tree stand. And I hunt in the backcountry, And I know some of you do too. And I carry a lot of stuff with me. I got a backpack, and you've seen the deer buggy, and I carry my tree stand, and I set it up and take it down every time. And yet to carry extra weight in that scenario can become quite burdensome. But the issue comes when I'm sitting in my tree stand. I'm sitting in my tree stand, and I've got my binoculars, and I've got my rifle, and I see some deer 200 yards away, 300 yards away, and well within my wheelhouse for a shot. But instead, I don't pick up my rifle. I make the huge mistake of picking up my binoculars. And I look through my binoculars, and I see 2 or 3 does down there, maybe a yearling, coming out on the wooded edge. And I'm looking at them, and I'm zooming in, and my rifle's sitting right on my lap or right on my crossbar of my tree stand that has a very effective binocular right on top of it. And I'm looking through my binoculars, and I see what appears to be a shooter buck, a good, wide, tall, no question about it. Time to shoot that deer. There he is. Holy smokes. So you put the binocular down, pick up the rifle, and you search for that deer. Wait a minute, where'd he go? Where is he? And you look, and you look, and you look, and you look. There's 3, 4, 5 seconds. You zoom it in. You look, you look. Those 3 or 4 and 5 seconds have passed. Yeah, he stood out there in the open for a short time, and he has slipped back into the timber, back into the orange grove. He's disappeared, and you never see him again. And the only sight that you got was wildlife viewing through your binoculars, because like me, you saw the guys on TV doing it and thought it was a good idea. And that is heartbreak. When you pick up your rifle, like I do, when you see an animal in the distance that you want to look at, I zoom my scope in. I settle in, and I look through my scope, and I find the target that I want to acquire. And when that moment comes, I click off that safety, and I make what I believe is the best shot I possibly can. And if you're fumbling around with binoculars, it could be a sad day. And I don't want that for you, and I certainly don't want it for me. But yeah, that's my warning for you. And as we continue our thought process on binoculars, and we talk about now you've got one on the top of your rifle, and how much money should you spend? I said you should at least spend as much as you do on binoculars, maybe more. Always spend as much as you can afford if you're going to spend. Now, I get it. If I spend $800 for a rifle, why would I spend $800 for a scope? That's a $1,600 setup. The markup on some of that stuff is horrendous. You don't really know what you're buying, right? And the Vortex, Nikon, Leupold products are the best. And when I bought my Remington model 7mm 08, I purchased a Tasco scope, which was about $150. And that Tasco scope, here it is right here. This Tasco scope is called the Big Game Scope, and it's got a pronghorn antelope on the side of it, and I thought it was kind of a good scope. It has served me well, and I've killed a lot of deer behind this scope. I've killed a lot of bucks behind this scope. I'd venture to say I have killed 30 bucks behind this scope. But the other day when I was in Ocala deer hunting, I made the mistake of leaning my rifle, and I always unload my rifle when I get down from my tree stand. And I take down my tree stand and put it up, as I've told you in the past, every time, because I don't know where I'm going to be hunting next time. It's always a changing, fluid moment. Where am I going to set up that day, right? So I made the mistake of leaning my rifle up against a tree, and there's nothing wrong with laying your rifle on the ground in the soft sand, as long as it doesn't get in the action, right? In the leaves, it's okay. Lay it on the ground. But I didn't do that. I leaned my rifle up against a tree. I was taking down my tree stand. I accidentally dropped the rifle down on a log, and I heard it go thump just like that. I said, oh man, because I am paranoid. I told my nephew the other day he let his rifle down just a little too hard. I said, now Kason, you're going to bump off that scope. I'm real paranoid about the scope being bumped off. So that means I got to take a trip to the rifle range. So that's what I did. I bumped my scope, and I took it to the rifle range, and it's only a 50-yard range, but you can check your rifle, right? I sight my rifle in at 100 yards. I would like to have my rifle an inch high, maybe 2's okay, at 100 yards. And I checked it, and it was 4 inches to the right. I said, holy smokes, 4 inches to the right. Boy, that thing bumped. Good thing I checked it. So I took off the caps, right? And I clicked the appropriate number. I think it was 8 clicks to the left. Click, 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 click with my penny, right? And then I tapped it to make sure. And then I screwed the thing back down. Bang. And all of a sudden, I was 4 inches to the left. I said, oh, crap, why am I 4 inches to the left? I was 4 inches to the right. 8 clicks should put me down. Now I'm all the way over there. So what I do? I click it all the way back. Bang. Try again. It didn't move. Why didn't it move? Try it again. Click, click, click. Bang. Still didn't move. All right. Time to retire this scope. I'm done with it. If it won't respond to clicking, well, I knew in the back of my mind that when I bought this scope, it was a budget scope. All right. So I'm retiring this scope. I'm not going to live with paranoia if it won't adjust. I've been sighting in my rifle. I know. You're supposed to shoot 3 rounds and move the group and all this sort of thing. I've sighted in my rifle with 3, 4 rounds, checked it with 1. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm a hunter. I'm not a marksman. I'm not shooting 400 yards at a disc this big. I'm shooting a kill zone. So I went out and I purchased a brand new Leupold scope for my 7mm 08, and the days of questioning are over. I spent what I could afford. This is a $350 scope. I'm gonna put a $350 scope on an $800 rifle. I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not an expert at this, but I've done it my whole life. I've never had somebody else put a scope on a rifle for me. So you'll need mounts. Don't skimp on the mounts. And something to hold the rifle in place. I built this stand here out of wood, and I can put my rifle inside it. And what I do is I take a level, and I had the scope pulled off. I took a level and I put it on top of the mount, and I leveled up the mounts. And then I only have like a half an inch, a quarter of an inch each side. So there's no real adjustment for the eye relief. I'm just going to have to work with it. It'll be fine. And then I put my scope in the rings, and I eased them down, and then I put the scope, the level. This level comes from the welding shop. It's a machinist level. Okay, it's small, but it's very, very durable and very, very accurate, and it's used for in a machine shop for someone that's doing milling and that sort of thing. So it's well within its wheelhouse to get that done. And that's how you level your scope. First you level on the mount, get the gun level, put the scope in the rings, get them started, and then adjust your scope until it's level. I don't know any other way to do it, but it's done. I've got my new scope. I've got my new binoculars on top of my rifle. When I'm sitting in my tree stand and I see those deer 200 yards away, I'm not going to reach for my binoculars. I'm going to reach for my rifle. I'm going to look through my rifle and observe the potential target. No fooling around. No complacency. You see a deer you want to be able to shoot, you want to line up those sights, click it off, and let it go. Yeah, it's a hard lesson to learn the hard way, and yeah, I don't want to learn it the hard way. I want to kill my deer. All right, so that's today's video. That's our lesson for today. Thanks for watching. We're going to be at the True Heart Ranch February, I think it's February 5th or 3rd. It's the first Saturday in February. We're going to do another turkey event there. That event keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm so excited about going. They always put me right at the front door. When you come in, I'll be the first guy you see there on the left. I'll have my table set up. I'm going to have some other things. We're going to have more phantom buck tracks for you to have. And we're going to have copies of my book, Wild Treasures of an Outdoorsman. Excuse me. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a product that I can sell. I was thinking about making a game hanger, a signature game hanger in the welding shop, and maybe I'll have a few of those to sell. If you kill a deer and you want to hang it in a tree or hang it off your back of your truck or whatever, you can hoist it up. Yeah, it's a product I think I probably can make and turn over for a little profit, you know, but I like making. I look forward to meeting you guys, and come on by. You'll hear more about it as the day approaches. So that's today's message. Love you guys. Like and subscribe if you want to. There's more to come, and we'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.